The Joe Rogan Experience.
What's the biggest crowd you guys ever performed in front of?
I think the biggest was Woodstock 94, I think it was, 93, 94, and that was like 380 some odd thousand people.
That's so crazy. Oh my God.
We've done some big ones.
That's a country.
Yeah.
That's a small European country.
We've done some like, at 100,000 people and 150,000 people.
Is there video of that, Jamie? Oh my God, I gotta see this. That's fucking insane. That is insane.
And I had just cut my hair right there. I was like,
Whew. Oh my God.
See the little guy next to Muggs?
Mm-hmm.
He was our our miniature knockout guy. He knew jujitsu, taekwondo, Shotokan. He trained with my boy Kenji, and he was like our unofficial security.
Oh, that's hilarious because unassuming, right?
Yeah, he's a little guy. I mean, he even did a few MMA fights.
Look at the size of that fucking crowd. That is insane.
I almost lost my shit right here because, seeing 300 and some odd thousand people jumping around to your shit.
God.
It could give you some equilibrium problems.
I would imagine.
Because it looks like waves crashing into each other.
God.
When it's that big.
I mean, that's got to be one of the biggest concerts ever that anybody's ever performed in front of.
In North America, for sure.
I mean, in all of human history.
Yeah, it was one of the biggest.
How the fuck? I mean, how do you get it more than 380,000 people together?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's probably only happened a few times.
It's crazy. I mean, every band they had on this particular bill was huge at the time. So it was. Yeah, it was pretty crazy trying to just get there. Some of us had to get in through boat. Some of us had to get in through helicopter.
Why? Because there's too many people?
Because they had started parking on the roads like the old school Woodstock, and they jammed up the highways and stuff like that. They parked, they pretty much shut the shit down. Yeah, and I went in through helicopter, and some of the other guys went in through the boat.
Helicopter, that's when you know you're on top of the world. When you're flying into a show in a fucking helicopter
and
like
I'll tell you,
Segura.
That's when you realize why you can never get away from the cops when they're in the helicopter. They fucking see everything.
Well, that's a funny thing, man, when you watch those dudes that are trying to escape from the cops on the ground, and then you watch the cops in the helicopter, the spotlight just stays on the car the entire time.
Yeah,
Look at that
that's
aerial.
But
that's just a piece of it right there. And they had a rotating stage.
Insane. What do you do when you have to take a shit? How long does it take to get from the front row to the back if you have to take a shit?
I'll tell you, we walked around in that shit right there, and it was super muddy and crazy, and people were like butt naked with mud smeared all over their fucking bodies, and it was like people went primal. I swear to God. There they go right there. They were having mudslide parties.
Oh, man, that looks awesome.
People made babies that day in their tent.
I'm sure they did.
For sure they did. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there right now.
It was fucking crazy, man. I gotta tell you, there was people out there totally hippied out, like straight up butt naked, and and there was a good portion of them. I mean, not in terms of the whole concert. I mean, it was a small percentage, but like you seen just naked people walking around free out there. It was crazy as fuck. We're like, is this really happening? Shit, man. And then the mud was so thick, man. It was the type where, like, if you walked through it with your shoes and your shoes weren't tight or you weren't wearing boots, it was sucking the shoe right off of your foot. It happened to me a number of times. Hell, in that show, I jumped into the crowd because normally I would jump into the crowd and, just be floating, stage dive style, but I would still be doing the song.
Right.
And on that particular show, they took my shoes and socks. I got back on stage with no shoes and socks. And, about 15 years later, I had one guy with one shoe come to the show and fucking have me sign it.
Oh.
And then the other shoe, some chick had it and had me sign it.
Wow.
Some years later. So I caught up with both shoes.
What about the socks?
Didn't catch up with the socks. Didn't catch up with the socks. But the shoes, caught up with them.
Do they have a limited amount of tickets for Woodstock? I mean, what the fuck do they do when you get that many people?
I think they probably started with some sort of limit.
And then it just became chaos.
And then it became chaos. Like that's something they couldn't handle.
Imagine if you lived there and that shit descended
they
upon
were
your
pissed
town.
off. I know they were pissed off.
They had a break for like fucking 25 years. They had a break.
They sold 164,000 tickets, but the crowd estimated size was 550,000.
Okay, well, shit, I was too short then. It's 200,000 short.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Because the rest rushed the gate. You know, they took the fence and, you know, took
Destroyed
it down, and they just fucking rolled
many
on in.
people. I would imagine, yeah.
It you know, because when it's an event that everybody wants to get to, they're going to find a way to it. And
it's outside.
And it's outside.
Yeah, and with those numbers, man, that's just you can't stop that number.
No, and it you know, it's a great part of their history because I mean, you know, that one was a good one where no one got hurt and there was no crazy shit happening like the next one after that. I mean, they had so
what
many
happened to the next one?
Well, shit, they had a bunch of women say that they had gotten raped or molested at the one the following year. And
There was fires and shit at the end.
yeah, and then there was fires. There was a whole bunch of people lost their fucking mind at that one, and they had some great bands too. So, you know,
They don't do that anymore, right? Woodstock's done.
no,
doing it this summer.
They're doing it enough. They're doing it enough.
What are you doing, you fucking idiots? Move, sell your house.
Yeah,
the
do
end of-
something. Do something. It's crazy though,
This is
because
the fires. Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh, they had bonfires.
yeah, I believe when Limp
Oh my
Bizkit
God.
or
Yeah, it was
Korn
bad.
went on, it was either Limp Bizkit or Korn, and the fires just fucking started.
People were pissed too because they were charging so much for water and like they couldn't get to the bathrooms like you were asking. Like they didn't have the facilities
They-
set up as well. Or
Yeah, they didn't have adequate facilities for what the fuck was popping. I mean, you know, a
Jesus
thousand.
Christ, look at the fucking what it looks like after it's over.
Listen, 1,000 Andy Gumps for 500,000 people is not gonna do it.
You imagine?
You need like 10,000 Andy Gumps.
Yeah, imagine being the dude who gets in there after 5,000.
I mean, look at that.
Taking a
Look
shit
at,
there.
they totally took over the fucking
That
highway
is
right there.
crazy. They shut down the fucking highway. They just parked their cars.
They made the highway the
That
parking
is
lot.
crazy. Look at that.
Yeah.
At least it was kind of orderly. Look how they did
Sort of.
They shut down.
I'll tell
the
you this though,
fucking
they were
highway.
cold-blooded, the organizers, because
Look at the fucking number. That is so crazy.
Oh yeah, it's like a
these
airplane
these guys had some fucking moxie. I'll tell you that. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, you know, after every band was done with their set, they expected you to leave right away because the next wave of bands was coming, and they were getting your spot. So, like, if you had a dressing room, once your set was done, you were expected to get the fuck out.
So you had a helicopter out of there.
If yeah, it was best if you did, because if you didn't take the ride when you were supposed to, you were getting stuck there. They couldn't guarantee that they could give you the ride back to your shit after that, you know, because they had all the other bands to think of, and they might not have room for you when they take the other bands. So it was like, yeah.
Look at that fucking picture. Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Ah, yes. That's what Pac. Look, it looks like Pac-Man.
Oh my god. That is
Looks like
it does
Pac-Man
look like
fucking eating the
Pac-Man.
stage right there.
That's insane. That picture is insane.
Yeah, it was that's the one I'll remember the most. I mean, we've done some huge gigs, but like that one by far, you know, never have we played for another 500,000, you know.
What does it sound like when 500,000 people scream?
Much like that Viking chant.
God.
I mean, we had a small nation right there.
Yeah,
That's
for
crazy.
real, legitimately.
Yeah.
Like when you leave there and then you go do a regular gig afterwards, does it feel weird?
Yeah, well, it depends, but
it take
yeah,
some adjusting.
It does take some adjusting, you know, especially if the next gig isn't as hype as that. You're like, fuck, we just came from Woodstock. But fortunately, the smaller gigs that we had after that, you know, in terms of playing festivals, they were like, you know, in between 30,000, 70,000, 100,000. And we felt that gave us such an experience that we can handle any fucking stage. So it became easier for us to do festivals after that. And the reaction that we would get at these festivals were smaller versions of what we did there, you know, and it was a great experience because we had been doing like a couple of European festivals before that, so it sort of prepared us for that. But we didn't. I mean, the fucking numbers we were definitely not prepared for. We're like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's like, that transcends reality.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we know that that's not our show. They're not all there for us, you know, because it's a mixed bag, right? A bunch of different artists, and you're winning over people, if anything. You're there playing for your base of people that might have come to see you, but you're winning everybody else over if you're doing it right. And for us, it was like a victory because we saw, you know, 500,000 people up there jumping up and down to all our shit, and they knew the words and they were singing with us, and it was like a big notch under the belt and a boost for our confidence, knowing that we can get in front of anybody, play with anyone, and get that reaction. I mean, because after that, you know, we were getting booked on metal driven festivals and stuff where we're the only hip hop on it, but it's all straight up metal. I mean, we were playing shows co-headlining under Metallica, right? Metallica, Cypress Hill, Biohazard, Deftones, Fear Factory, and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And we'd be in that mix playing those festivals with those guys and with hip hop music. And, you know, the boost that it gave us in the confidence, it was like, fuck that. We can play with any of these motherfuckers. It doesn't matter who it is. And we went to those metal festivals with our hip hop and got metal reaction. Mosh pits, stage dives, everything. And it felt good to be able to hang up there with a Metallica. I mean, yeah, what they do to a crowd is crazy. But we realized that if we were playing on the same venue, going before them, we can in a festival form, we can fucking hang with anyone, and that pretty much put us over the top with doing festivals. Like, yeah, we're gonna fucking rule this shit. People are gonna have to up their game when we're on that festival with them. That's the way we took it.
I would imagine you couldn't sleep for days after that show.
The adrenaline was crazy. I got to tell you, the adrenaline was crazy. And
like,
then,
when you're in the helicopter leaving, were you like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, we were tripping out, man. I mean, we were like totally in awe of the response that we got, and the you know, the enormity of the fucking crowd, man. I mean, it was fucking huge.
Plus, to be a part of something that's like something that no one there is ever going to forget.
We took it for granted. I got to tell you, when we fucking they want you to do, okay, we'll do Woodstock, whatever. And when we got there, that's when we saw just how fucking crazy it was. I think this, see.
Oh, this is you. So they steal your shoes?
Yeah, they're gonna start coming. Watch, I have to hold my shirt forward so that I don't get choked out. And there goes the first shoe. They're about to take that first one.
That's
yeah,
so ridiculous. What were you thinking when they were taking your shoe? Like, God damn it!
I was like, oh fuck! There goes one shoe. There goes one white sock. Yeah, there goes the other shoe.
That is so ridiculous. And there is no fucking security that can stop 500,000 people. Save all that shit.
No.
You're at the mercy of the fans.
Somebody's going to grab from my sock pretty soon.
That is so wild. They're just stealing socks. Look at it, steal your pants.
Hey, listen, you know, they tried.
Anybody grab your dick?
No, you know, they tried to grab the weed in my pocket. Because sometimes, you know, when your adrenaline is kicking, you're not really thinking, you know, what's in my pocket and shit like that. But yeah, you know, throughout, I had chicks trying to grab my shit for sure.
Of course.
For sure.
Yeah.
That was a little, you know, crazy for me, you know, but it is what it is. If you're going to stand close, you know, shit like this happens, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, if you're going to stage dive, you got to assume some weird shit is going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, for me, you know, people were mostly respectful, you know, but they would go through my pockets to see if I had weed. And one
they
night,
rabbit ear your pockets out?
Yeah, I did. I had like an ounce of weed at one show, and I jumped in and I totally forgot I had it in my pocket. Boom. Fucking took my goddamn weed. Like, I hope you enjoyed that.
I bet they did extra.
I know they did.
While they were rolling that joint. This is Pete Real's weed, man.
I know they did.
Straight from California. This is the real shit.